When you're Ashley Merrill, it's easy to have good days. Her husband is the billionaire founder of a video game company. She lives in a $13.5 million beachfront home in Malibu, and she's always comfortably clad in washable silk pajamas by Lunya, the company she founded. But today was going to be an especially good day for Ashley. New product launch day at Outdoor Voices, the cult athleisure wear brand she bought during the pandemic. Launch day meant lots of press and, more importantly, a much-needed sales boost for the company. During the height of COVID, her sleepwear brand was raking in money. But 3 years later, people were wearing jeans again, and now Lunya was on the brink of bankruptcy. Today, Ashley was hoping that Outdoor Voices' devoted millennial following would pile their carts full of leggings and athletic dresses to fill the company's dwindling coffers. Ashley was putting the final touches on an Instagram post, launching the new athleisure polo dress and tech sweat leggings in line. "Green is your color," the caption read. "Perfect. Let the adoring masses enjoy the..." The fabric is going in the wrong direction on the front panel of those leggings. Yikes. Y'all have lost your way. OV collections are rooted in real active experience. I don't recognize that here. Ugh. Ashley rolled her eyes, ready to swipe right and delete the hate comments. But when she took a closer look at the username, her stomach flipped. @Ty_Haney? What are you doing here? Ty Haney was Outdoor Voices' visionary but inconsistent founder who was pushed out of the company in 2020 for alleged financial mismanagement and bullying behavior. What the hell? Ashley manifested the shit out of this Outdoor Voices thing. It was supposed to be fun and cool and cute and sporty, but it was just bills and write-downs and moldy leggings, and now she was getting trolled. That's it, Ashley decided. After she posted these cat memes, it was time to finally delete this company for good. This is the Corporate Gossip Podcast, Outdoor Voices and Ty Haney's Groundhog Day. This episode is an unlocked and updated version of an episode that was originally posted on the Corporate Gossip Patreon. If you want to join the Patreon, get more episodes like this one, and support the podcast for as little as $5 a month, you can do so at patreon.com/corporategossip or by clicking the link in our show notes. Welcome back to the Corporate Gossip Podcast Patreon. I'm your host, CPA Scorn, Becca Platsky. I'm here with my brother and my co-host,
Data Analytics Playboy Adam Platsky.
This episode's going to make you sweat. We're finally doing an episode on Outdoor Voices. So, Adam, do you own any Outdoor Voices? I wrote this before I knew the answer.
Yeah, you bought me these shorts.
I don't remember buying you those.
You bought me these shorts
for
it's probably around 2020 for a birthday gift. And these were the first shorts that I had that have a built-in liner.
Do you like them?
No, I don't like the built-in liner. You can see I'm wearing my own underwear underneath.
Oh, you're not supposed to wear underwear?
Not with a built-in liner, which is where a lot of athleisure brands are going. Like, I have a couple other shorts with a built-in liner. It really depends on the liner. Sometimes it doesn't rest well. I'll put it that. But okay. You bought me these.
I can tell you that I must have really felt like I was going to give you a nice gift that birthday, because I don't own any Outdoor Voices myself, because I just thought they were just too expensive. But this was the millennial athleisure brand, like 2015. I have a picture here of Lena Dunham wearing Outdoor Voices in a very famous scene, I think in the last season of Girls. You got those color block leggings. You go to Soul Cycle on a Sunday. You got iced matcha. Sunday night, go home. Watch Girls, cue up HBO Go.
HBO Go.
The classic. And you're having yourself an iconic 2015 millennial night. Maybe you're wearing your hat that says "Doing Things." You ever see those?
Oh, I see the bags too. They still exist.
Yeah, they still exist. Outdoor Voices was founded by Ty Haney. Here she is in 2016 at the Forbes 30 Under 30 Summit. This is kind of a funny picture because it's... The caption is, Sir Richard Branson is flanked by Payal Kadikia, CEO of ClassPass, and Tyler Haney, founder of Outdoor Voices, at the 30 Under 30 Summit in Boston. And he, for some reason, unexplicable, is wearing a sleeping eye mask. The 60-year-old man is blindfolded, and he's sitting next to two 28-year-old women.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. So she starts this brand after graduating from Parsons. She's my age. She's 35. And I think your wife went to Parsons at the same time she did.
Yeah, Lauren said she didn't know her, but she did know that she was a graduate of Parsons.
Oh. So the brand is headquartered in Austin, and if you know 2016, Austin was like the place to be. Outdoor Voices had like a cult following. You were probably too young to be keyed in on this, but there was like Outdoor Voices events, there was jogging meetups, dog walking clubs. They had like a very strong community of people who loved Outdoor Voices because it wasn't necessarily like Nike or these other brands that were focused on working out. This was like when you would wear a workout outfit just to run errands. Like this was the kind of peak
how
of
is that different from today?
It's not different from today, but that was from my recollection, they were really the first brand to popularize that. Ty Haney, she is like the it girl. I have a Business Insider here article. The company with a 26-year-old CEO is being called Lululemon for hipsters. And she's like the perfect CEO. She's gorgeous.
Yeah, she's hot. Objectively, she is hot.
Yeah, she's smart. She creates this incredible brand. She's the peak of Abby Lee Miller's girl boss pyramid. She's dating Austin restaurateur Larry McGuire. You know a lot about restaurants. Have you ever heard of this guy?
Never heard of him.
She's the Austin it girl. Outdoor Voices is valued in the beginning at $240 million. Celebrities are wearing the brand. They're growing like crazy. Interestingly, if you listen to her, do you listen to an interview?
I didn't listen. I wanted to, but I couldn't bring myself.
She really does a lot of crispy R's. That's like her thing, which I haven't heard in a long time. Here she is in a Wall Street Journal article with her boyfriend, Larry McGuire, and talk about earned media. Meet two of Austin's brightest entrepreneurs. This is Wall Street Journal. So it seems like somewhere in the 2017, 2018 era, Ty kind of takes this cute little startup and she says, did you say $240 million? $250 million? That's like more money than I can even imagine. Keep in mind, like, she grew up in Boulder. Her dad worked on an oil rig. Her mom was a hairdresser. So, working on an oil rig brings in big money, but like you're familiar with Boulder. She probably wasn't the richest person there.
No, I mean, Roughnecks do make really good money. They're away all the time, and it's incredibly dangerous. But yeah, Boulder is definitely not a roughneck community.
No, and so I imagine coming from that and then going to Parsons, like Lauren, like you're surrounded by extremely wealthy people. Yeah, and she was probably not extremely wealthy.
Yeah, Lauren would tell me that there are a lot of wealth at Parsons. Like, it wasn't abnormal to go to a student's house who was a penthouse because their dad was somebody, or a lot of the international students, like, they didn't have to learn to sew because they could just hire. They had enough money to hire people to sew for them.
And Parsons, by the way, if you're unfamiliar, is a design school. So there's a lot of fashion. There's like graphic design, any type of art. You could do. Yeah,
it's sort of like the people at Parsons are like the upper echelon of Parsons are sort of like the next gen NYC crew. It's like, let's go to One Oak. Like, they have money to blow and they have the means to do it.
And they were also, was it Parsons or the New School on Project Runway?
The New School.
Oh, it was the New School. Okay.
Because the New School is a part of Parsons.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, the New School is.
I always thought they were two different. Anyway, how did that make Lauren feel? Because she comes from a middle-class background. Like, did it make her feel...
Oh, it made her feel incredibly poor and less than, and it was really difficult, especially to, like, stay in your lane. And also to realize that you're graduating Parsons or in the New School with, crippling debt.
Yeah, yeah. So I put myself in Ty Haney's position when all of a sudden, 3 years after graduating, my company is valued at $250 million. And she's also now surrounded by, as Austin's it girl, like a very exclusive circle. And she's also hanging out with Elon Musk. So there's a time after she breaks up with this guy, Larry McGuire, she's linked with Elon Musk, and they kind of both come out and say, hey, we're friends, but we're not dating or anything. And this is 2018, where I think it's like right at the end of Elon Musk's waning popularity, but still. And so I think she does something that I would imagine a lot of people who are in her position would do. which is spending cash like crazy. If you went into an Outdoor Voices store in 2018, you might think you're at the San Francisco Fairmount, because an average store per year is spending $22,000 on Maison Louis Marie No. 4 candles, $45,000 on fresh flowers a year. That's like a little under $1,000 a week. $36,000 on Topo Chico bottled water. And those are the stores that actually did open. This is from a New York Times investigation called How Outdoor Voices Imploded. Store openings were delayed after leases were signed. A string of experienced executives hired to professionalize the startup had abruptly left. An anonymous letter sent to the board of directors blamed Mrs. Haney, now 31, for the exits and accused her of being spoiled and mercurial. The clothes were selling at discounts. The office in New York, where Outdoor Voices was based before it moved to Austin, Texas, would soon be shut down. A person familiar with the situation countered that the expenditures were part of a new retail experience, but they could see how they would be in conflict with traditional retail leads who were brought on and didn't understand the approach. So they're basically saying, listen, everyone's trying to make money the old way. We're trying to make money the new way, which is losing money. Several executives said a finance director had also been reporting massaged sales numbers to the board chair and the largest shareholders. So this is, I guess, the crazy Eddie school of financial reporting, where you turn ones into sevens. This is from a BuzzFeed investigation. Quote, they were not realistic in accordance with what we were doing in sales.
BuzzFeed investigation? That doesn't exist, does it?
I know, RIP. But not being realistic in accordance with what we were doing in sales is called fraud. That's called material misstatement in auditing. That's what we would call that. In 2018, the company lost $21 million, $3 million of which came from a write-off of excess fabric that had been rotting in storage. According to two people familiar with this situation, LuLaRoe would have just aired that out and sold it anyway. Outdoor Voices budgeted to lose $12 million that year. A former director said even with $40 million sales, Outdoor Voices was losing $2 million every month. And they're spending $100,000 a year each store just on candles, flowers, and water.
It's called vibe curation. And the crazy thing is they have only like 16 stores.
I know. It's crazy. 15 stores, yeah. A former director said, we're in year 5 and the company should be breaking even with the sales velocity we were pulling, but we are hemorrhaging cash. In interviews, several former employees pointed to a private last-minute SoulCycle class that was part of an off-site company meeting in October 2017. They said it cost about $10,000 because Ty made the request the day before, and Outdoor Voices had to reserve the entire class. 10 people ended up going.
Wow.
I'd be pissed. So they mentioned executives were brought in. One of the executives that was brought in was Mickey Drexler, who invested in the company in 2017 and then became chairman of the board. You want to tell us about Mickey?
Yeah, so Mickey Drexler became a name when he was at Gap. And he was an executive at Gap, and Gap was doing really well. And then he is credited with turning around J. Crew with the help of Jenna Lyons.
Here's a picture of him with DVF.
Wow.
DVF alert.
So, yeah, Mickey Drexler, he's old school retail.
Emphasis on the old.
Old, very old.
Boomer.
And also, it is not out of the norm for, and you'll hear this, I think you'll probably cover this, that Mickey was a bully to not only his coworkers, but people way junior to him.
You read the J. Crew book,
I read the J. Crew book, but I've also heard stories of people who worked with Mickey that he made cry, and that was like a regular occurrence.
Well, I'm surprised him and Ty didn't get along better then.
Yeah.
So Mickey viewed Outdoor Voices as something of a swan song as he stepped back from J. Crew and focused on smaller projects. I think this is from New York Times investigation. But soon after he joined Outdoor Voices, there was tension. In meetings, Mr. Drexler would quiz employees, expressing frustration when they couldn't calculate things like profit margins on the fly. And they were really dismissive of him, and they'd be like, God, this old dude keeps wanting us to do math. Fuck.
Ty could be very dismissive of the traditional ways of retailing. Even as the freewheeling startup grew, this attitude could make it difficult for the company and a revolving door of hires to take basic steps for budgeting, inventory planning, merchandising, and store expansion. This is like the classic story of like a young founder who doesn't understand like basic business. And they get really upset when like a more professional or seasoned executive comes on because they're like, dude, you're just trying to harsh my vibe, man. Like enough with the numbers and the fucking finances, my boring.
And Mickey's probably like, Ty, what you got to do every summer, get a bucket of sandals imported from China and sell them for $2. People at Gap went crazy for that.
That is true.
Old Navy sandals?
That's true.
That's a doorbuster. That gets people in the door. Conversion.
Yeah. And he's like, how much profit margin are we making on these leggings? And they go, okay, Grandpa, let's get you back to the nursing home. So by 2018, the company is valued at $110 million. So we're already slashed the valuation by more than half. I wonder if it's because they're selling this garbage. This is the Outdoor Voices Tech Sweat leggings. It's hard to see because I printed this out in black and white, but they're white leggings. This is a review site. It goes pro, super soft, stretchy, comes in different prints and colors, true to size, and it's priced, you'll see, at $75 to $95. Cons, see-through. Cons, see-through? And remember, Ty is hanging out with the Elon at this point, so she's got the Elon playbook, which is when things are going bad, just emotionally terrorize your employees. And clearly Mickey Drexler isn't helping. This is BuzzFeed. They talk to employees who were excited at working at the company because of the vision, right? This is very American Apparel-esque. This is OpenAI. This is Facebook. Those poor, sweet souls. Here's a quote. But soon after they started working, the workers who agreed to speak on condition of anonymity, citing non-disclosure agreements and fear of reprisal, said that they were often belittled, betrayed, gaslighted, and underpaid for work that intruded on their personal lives. Quote, I went to work for Outdoor Voices because it was my dream company and Ty was my dream CEO, a young female founder who was so inspiring and I believe so much what her company stood for. You know what's crazy? I just said last week that my worst toxic experience was a female boss that I believed in who I feel like betrayed me. And so I'm like triggered. This is a former director who worked closely with Ty. The minute I got there, I realized it was all smoke and mirrors. Ty spoke to me like I was in an abusive relationship. That was me and my old boss. Every day I walked into the office, I felt more and more worthless. She had beaten me down like she had done to many others. Former employees say that Ty appointed friends with minimal experience to senior roles, which caused friction and confusion. That's very Under Armour-esque. Nearly every former employee also recounted how this select group of higher-ups cultivated a mean girls environment of cliques, fear, and intimidation that permeated the workplace and repressed people from speaking out. This is interesting. Did you catch this, that Ty apparently lied about the origin of the Outdoor Voices name?
No.
She said it was from when her mom would tell her to use her indoor voice, so Outdoor Voices.
Oh.
But the co-founder of the company, his name is Matt McIntyre. He said he came up with the name. And two people familiar with the company's origin confirmed his account. In this report, people basically say, listen, Ty is a creative genius for sure. She created a brand new, clothing line that was immediately a cult brand, but she shouldn't have been the CEO. And we've said this almost every single episode we talk about with a founder CEO. They should not be leading these companies. And the board agreed. In 2020, Ty's kicked out of the company. Here's the Instagram post she wrote announcing her departure. She's basically saying, I wish I was a better manager, but I stuck to my guns. And because I'm young and a woman, I was labeled difficult and mercurial. I'm unable to tell my story, she says, because of documents I was required to sign from being removed from my position at Outdoor Voices while I was on maternity leave. That's fucked up to remove somebody while they're on maternity leave. But I guess if you're thinking like from a shareholder perspective, you're like, I don't care.
Yeah, but if you already have somebody in term, you might as well just be like, wait till she comes back and we'll drop it on her as soon as she gets back.
Yeah, unless like, she's so bad for the brand that, it doesn't really make sense.
Why take the PR hit on firing a pregnant woman?
Yeah, you're right. I'm not sure. I guess
Yeah.
maybe so that they could, because once you fire her, you can basically replace the entire
Wasn't
executive
it the
team.
case, though, that she was kind of active within her maternity leave? I'm sure.
I do remember
Yeah.
hearing that. Yeah. So she says that she can't talk about things that happened because of documents she's required to sign. But then she says this: there is an unsettling trend lately, this is in the Instagram post, to interview ex-employees of female-founded companies and report their claims either at face value or without any context. There is an eagerness to label business decisions like purchasing glass water as frivolous rather than ask why it was a smart investment. In parentheses, she says, because it's part of an environmentally minded experience that brought people to our events and retail locations, which led to significant customer acquisition.
I will tell you what. I bought a $1,000 tuxedo at Nordstrom, and they gave me water, and I didn't feel as ripped off. They gave me Perrier water, and I was like, oh, I wonder if they're just like refilling the Perrier. And I heard the snap, like because it was a brand new bottle. It did make me feel good.
Well, that's great.
But I guess the margins are a little different.
Yeah, that's the problem. You're buying $1,000 suit, and that's just the cost of goods sold. When your margins are question mark because they have no idea. When your margins are only, I don't know, you're an athletic, you know.
Margins are for athletic apparel should be between like 60 and 80%, 50 and 80%. At least that's what they used to be when I was closer to that business.
They should be 50.
Athletic apparel is supposed to be a good business.
Yeah.
Should be a good business.
So does that just go to show you how badly it was managed? This is a cult brand selling clothes at a 50 to 60% margin, and they're still hemorrhaging cash.
Yeah, it seems like it's mismanaged.
Well, she says that calling her out on that stuff are trends that will only serve to drive women back out of the boardroom. This is like an interesting rhetorical mechanism she's using here. She's saying there's an eagerness to label business decisions like purchasing glass water as frivolous. These are trends that will only serve to drive women back out of the boardroom.
Yeah, because we can't drink glass water.
She's saying that only that women's decisions are bad and not to call them out. And if you call them out for their bad decisions, they're forced to retreat. Like, I don't understand her argument here at all.
No, I think you're thinking too meta about it. I think it's more about glass water.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, that's my problem, I guess. It's a weird hill to die on, I guess. Okay. So they do end up bringing her back a few months later. They give her the title of founder, but then she's gone for good after that. And that's when something really interesting happens. And we say these stories repeat themselves, but this is actually one of the stories that we've covered on this podcast that's pretty unique. So Ashley Merrill, let me introduce you to her. She's the founder of the women's sleepwear brand Lunya. This was like a really popular brand during the pandemic. It's washable silk. Her husband is Mark Merrill. Does that name sound familiar? He is the CEO and founder of Riot Games.
Oh, Riot Games. That's familiar to me.
What do they make? I didn't.
Video games.
But like
That's a very popular video game maker. I don't know what video games they make, but I know because I read the Blizzard Activision.
Oh,
Blizzard,
that'll come up in that book. Yeah. So he's a billionaire. They're billionaires. She founded this sleepwear company, and it was pretty much a regular, like, middling sleepwear brand until the pandemic, when it just exploded and everybody was wearing loungewear and everybody was buying these Slatin sleep sets. They're like an online only DTC brand, like perfect pandemic explosion. So Merrill purchases a majority stake in Outdoor Voices, which wasn't that expensive. Okay, the valuation in 2020 is $40 million. That's like a house. That's like a penthouse apartment in some places.
No, and when your husband's bankrolling you.
It's literally nothing. So maybe she got a majority stake, so maybe she spent $21 million. And yeah, her husband's a billionaire. She's probably flush with cash from Lunya.
Oh my God, and her husband's making money hand over fist during the pandemic.
Yes. So they were, this was probably like, this, and you'll see in the way that she ends up treating this company, I genuinely think this was like an afterthought, or like, oh, that would be fun. Don't you think that would be fun, honey?
I see a lot of, I do notice with a lot of men who are wealthy and their wives, they will often bankroll their wives' aspirations.
Like vanity projects?
Vanity projects, businesses,
But
decoration.
that's how it always used to be, even in like the Gilded Age. Like that, like but it used to be philanthropic endeavors. Like that's why you see a lot of these billionaires' wives be like the chair of some fucking bogus, philanthropy with 50% overhead.
But I'm saying,
or like chair of the Arts Council or like whatever.
The psychology behind it is not to make money. The psychology of it, to me, is to say, here, take this, get off my back.
100%. 100%. Yeah. It definitely, listen, it seems like that's what happened here. If only from the archetypes that we've seen in similar situations just like this that we know like after the fact. And listen, so now she's the CEO of Lunya and Outdoor Voices. And if I'm being super generous, I could see the idea here, right? It's COVID. Loungewear is really popular. I can take this former cult brand that I'm buying at like a cut rate discount and I can combine it with my current cult brand and Bob's Your Uncle. But now we know in retrospect that both of these brands were flash in a pan. But the problem is these pandemic boon CEOs like John Foley from Peloton, they're on like such a sugar high and they don't realize that it's all just a house of cards. And it didn't last forever. And it didn't. Lunya filed for bankruptcy in 2022. Real double whammy for Ashley because she also totally shit the bed at Outdoor Voices. She ends up putting in this woman, Gabrielle Conforti, as CEO after a brief tenure at Urban Outfitters where she was president. And even though they're slashing costs, they still couldn't make a company profitable. This is an article from Puck. In the summer of 2022, I, the author of this article, viewed another pitch deck, this one from Outdoor Voices itself, which was looking to raise more capital or sell. At the time, a person with access to the company's finances told me that Outdoor Voices was not profitable on an EBITDA basis, despite the fact that the deck lauded the brand as first order profitable, whatever that means. Meryl followed up, noting to me that the company closed 2021 as EBITDA neutral, with month-to-month profitability varying. You know what that reminds me of? Like a gambling addict who's like, I
haven't tracked my losses, but I'm probably about even for the year. If probably a little bit up. But I haven't tallied it all up. That's normally where I net out at.
That's literally them. EBITDA neutral? Then literally what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? So you're wasting your time. And that just goes to show you, like, they're just bankrolling this company and not making a dime. That deck that they had was them trying to exit the company, right? But nothing came of that. From a creative perspective, they're just completely floundering. They make a Hail Mary attempt to appeal to Disney adults with this horrific product launch. It looks like the Goofy dress in particular, looks like a toddler's dress.
Wait, but the shirt is awful that the guy's wearing. It's just like, it's a really bad Goofy t-shirt. Like, look, if I thrifted that and it was from like the 90s, I'd be pumped. But
sure.
From Outdoor Voices.
And it cost probably $128.
Get moving with Disney. Magic meets adventure in a new collection by Outdoor Voices.
So let me ask you this, as somebody who worked in merchandising at Disney, what's the, because everybody was very confused by this. I assume, did they pay Disney for the license?
It's all licensing rights.
But what's the reason for that?
I worked for another company that did a lot of licensing deals, and it's really just it creates brand awareness.
Oh, at Disney, so people who go to Disney are suddenly introduced to Outdoor Voices.
Well, that and it normally gets some
Disney adults
earned media.
Yeah.
Like, so if somebody does a collaboration with them, it builds awareness.
Sure, but I guess the idea is,
and then it normally will sell through.
Oh,
so you're not putting a ton of units in volume behind these collections. Even if they're like a super popular collection, like if you were doing a collection with Supreme, you're trying to create stir and again awareness. Not everybody is going to get that. They're going to make like 1,000 pieces of it because they want it to be cool. And
well, they did definitely create a stir and awareness because immediately people were like, "This looks so dumb." It's a yellow dress with just different variations of Goofy on it. Like they could have actually made this cool. They could have used like a color way that was like brings to mind Goofy, or a colorway that brings to mind a princess or whatever. But it's straight up just looks like LuLaRoe. It looks like LuLaRoe, like just a pattern on a dress. And the dress is very ill-fitting and looks stupid. This one also made me laugh. This was on Reddit. And someone says, POV, when you work out in a white-collar prison, it's all these girls on a tennis court, and they're all dressed in orange tops and orange bottoms, and it just looks fucking crazy. And they also look like they're in prison.
They do look like they're in prison.
And it says, this is the kind of fun you can have in a matching set. I need to face swap Elizabeth Holmes, Charlie Javice, Jen Shaw. They would absolutely. And Ghislaine. And that one can be Felicity Huffman.
Felicity, yeah.
Felicity. You know who Outdoor Voices should have hired to do the reband?
Yeah.
Wyatt Ingraham Koch. Somebody needs him because his clothes can be worn in the boardroom or the discoteca. So also the crazy thing is, it's not just like people on Reddit who are commenting on Outdoor Voices and how bad the products have become. Ty is also commenting. She's going on the Outdoor Voices Instagram and being like, hey, the hem is completely wrong. Like, it's supposed to lay differently, or
nice
like,
move.
Isn't that cool? I actually think that's fucking awesome, to be honest with you. So there's a article from The Cut. To her, Outdoor Voices product has become haphazard. She cites with horror the 20 different styles of exercise dress and recent Disney collaboration that just looked so goofy. This is very Bob Iger core, like to leave a company and then shit talk it.
I like it. Should be done more. I think it should be done. I think that people should comment on their companies' Instagram.
100%.
Yeah.
I think, hey, you know what, CEO? Take it personal. Break your NDA. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think they absolutely should be doing this. It sucks for the person who is CEO, but if they're fucking... I'll say, give the new person a year, and if nothing changes, then hop in those DMs.
Can you imagine? You make a burner. I wonder if this is her burner account, like going on. That actually is so interesting. Make a burner account, go on Reddit, and just start shit posting your old company, and they'll bring you back. It's actually kind of fucking genius.
Well, I mean, Jax Taylor tried that, and it didn't work.
You have to have some goodwill. You have to actually be talented and have people like what you brought to the table and not just abuse your wife. I guess that's the difference. So interestingly, in this article, it said she's wearing a satin skirt, an oversized button-up, and many rings. This is how the author describes her, reporter describes her, one of which is etched with the word sex, which she recommends along with bananas for stress relief.
Gross.
So you're Ashley Merrill. You bought this company. You thought for fun. You thought it was going to be fun. You got the former president of Urban Outfitters who's making baby dresses with goofy prints on them. So here's where we're going to start pulling some gossip from Reddit. This is from somebody who worked at Outdoor Voices at the time, allegedly. They say, as soon as Ashley Merrill took over, it was like we entered a whole new world of chaos. We started missing payments to vendors. Our lease obligations were ignored. It was a mess. But here's where it gets personal. Ashley had been all talk about promotions and more funding on the horizon. People were making life-changing decisions based on her promises. She kept insisting that more funding was coming and everything would be okay, despite the fact that everyone is aware of vendors knocking us for missing payments.
So, I went to this startup thing this weekend.
Yeah.
And one of the big things that one of the heads of the event was saying was like, don't tell me the nitty gritty. Just like say you all have it together. Like, I don't need to know the rest. Just say you all have it together. It was
fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. He was like, like you want to give off the sense that you're successful and you're doing everything right. And this is what these people are being taught.
But that's fine. In moderation. I would say use sparingly even, right? But don't tell your employees that new funding is on the way, so feel free to pack up and move to Austin, move your entire family, take your fucking kids out of school because we have funding on the way. That's not fake it till you make it. That's lying.
Yeah.
Massaging the numbers is a material misstatement that if a public company did that, it would be an SEC violation.
Yeah, but I'm saying this Meryl is so... She actually thinks she's going to succeed. I don't think she thinks she's lying. The funding is on the way, and she
Elon
probably
Musk,
thinks,
funding secured.
she probably thinks her husband is going to write her a check if not. My husband's not going to let me fail.
That's so interesting. I would have loved to know the drama behind the scenes here. Yeah, because maybe she was telling the truth. But the crazy thing is just like from a straight up like business perspective, you are a company that is now an athletic wear company that is now 7 years old, has 15 stores, and you're depending on outside funding. You're depending on financing to run your operations.
I don't know. I don't want to think she was lying. I think, especially think with a leader who is a woman, they have a little bit more empathy and a little bit more.
Oh, okay? That's interesting. Just wait. So this is back to Fortune. Outdoor Voices kicked off another fundraising round in late 2023. Again, this is 10 years after the company has been founded. Meryl ends up putting more money in herself, and then she fires the CEO, Gabrielle Conforti, according to Puck. Since then, Meryl has been running the business and effectively serving as CEO, according to the former employees who spoke to Fortune. She brought in several Lunia executives to serve as consultants while ushering a brand refresh. So nothing like bringing in executives who are out of work because your other company went bankrupt the year before.
Yeah, really going with trusted resources.
Ashley kept having meetings with us, employees, and telling us how great everything was. Some employees and customers saw Meryl's rebrand as antithetical to the brand's founding ethos of inclusion. A former Houston-based store manager recalled a virtual meeting in early 2024 in which Ashley urged employees to cater the brand to older, wealthier customers and suggested lowering the discounts Outdoor Voices offered to healthcare workers, fitness instructors, and students.
Not cool.
Your core customer base is falling off the cliff.
Well, this is what we see with these companies is they lose their way, they forget who their core customer is, and then they're just like, all right, let's just sell out. And it never works. You lose your authenticity, people see it, and they know right away.
Not discounting your products to fitness instructors is also a fucking wild move because they're going to be wearing their clothes in front of people who are your core audience. Like, what the fuck are you thinking? I mean, I guess if they're see-through, maybe you don't want them to. So I went back to the Reddit archives, and there are people complaining that the quality of clothing has deteriorated. Here are some comments. What made Outdoor Voices so unique to me was their events in the community. They were never about upselling at these events. They really seemed to want to get their community together. This girl goes, I'm very close to deleting the Outdoor Voices app. Everything feels like fast fashion, and a lot of their styles just don't seem functional. The materials have changed. The products are not high quality before. It's sad. I don't know what they're going for. I'm disappointed because Outdoor Voices really changed my life when I found it. I grew up with an eating disorder and unhealthy relationship with food and exercise. The OV ethos of doing things for the sake of feeling good and having fun left such a lasting impression on me. And now I exercise all the time because it's the number one thing that has an impact on my mental health and overall mood.
Outdoor Voices to me is a time and a place.
Yes.
And that's okay. And where we are now, in the past 10 years, athleisure is so saturated.
Yes.
Not only are the big players still existing, there's all these DTC brands. There's Aloe, there's Lulu, there's Viore, there's, go to a mall and you look, Athleta, so on and so forth. And then you also have the big players who are trying to dip into that space. So Gap's got its own athleisure.
Old Navy.
Dick's Sporting Goods has a private label athleisure. All the big sporting goods, or all the big sporting brands are all doubling down on athleisure.
Skims.
Now there's just not Skims. There you go. So it's just not cool, and it's not. And then they lost their authenticity, so they're not cool anymore. Like, they were cool, they lost it, they're uncool now. That's as simple as it goes.
Pack it up. Move on.
Yeah, let private equity try and fucking bring it back from the dead. Let them pump their money into it. Go for it.
And the fucked up thing is, it's sad because it's really hard to create a cult brand, and now you are cutting corners and you're just running on fumes. Although you wouldn't necessarily know it if you were an employee because Ashley is lying maybe to employees or is just delusional. I guess at this point, though, it's probably baked into the financial models to just take a negative number and then in the next cell just do equals negative that cell and then bada bing, bada boom.
Mm-hmm.
You got
It's pretty automated.
pretty automated system. We're profitable every quarter. Early March 2024, Ashley.
Which is when I told you, I was like, yo, you got to look at this Outdoor Voices thing. Remember, I was sending you all the Reddit was blowing up with like all the employees being like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we're getting to that part now.
Yeah.
So early March 2024, Ashley just wakes up one morning and goes, she's looking at her phone. She gets a bad message about Outdoor Voices. Someone's like, hey, we're unprofitable again. And she just types out, whatever, I'm over it. Shut it down. I don't care. And this is from Fortune. On Monday, March 11th, the company laid off an estimated 80% of its corporate workforce, including its entire HR, brand, and design teams. The following day, it told staff it would close 16 of its stores, all 16 of its stores, and sell exclusively online, leaving all retail employees out of a job within 5 days. The people there estimate that at the time there were fewer than 15 employees left at the company. Employees told Fortune that they were furious over the company's lack of communication about the closures, as well as Ashley Merrill's behavior, which included posting Instagram memes shortly after laying off dozens of workers. Those actions were a slap in the face, they said. Screenshots reviewed by Fortune show that Ashley Merrill had reshared 2 videos featuring cats on her Instagram story on March 13th, the morning after the store closures were announced. In one video, an energetic kitten licks a sleepy-looking counterpart alongside the caption, "There are 2 types of people in the morning. Which one are you?" I'm the one that lays off hundreds of people. Outdoor Voices employees and customers flooded Merrill's Instagram with comments seeking answers. Merrill restricted comments on her account. The ex-employees then turned to Lunya's Instagram, where comments were also disabled. As of March 24th, as well as Outdoor Voices, their Instagram comments were also disabled for that time. Somebody says, which I agree, I think it's a sign of cowardice. You should at least own up to what you did. Like, that's the crazy part. I mean, I hate it when people, I don't know, like when it's an individual being canceled, I kind of understand why they would disable comments. But if you're a company with employees and you're shutting down, like that's fucked up. But that didn't stop the employees. Did you see these series of signs when you were looking at?
Yeah. This is what first
piqued your interest?
piqued my interest when I saw it last year.
Because basically people are finding out, customers are finding out, our stores are closing in 5 days. Everything's 50 to 75% off. And people go rushing to the Outdoor Voices stores. And signs are saying, if locked, come back in 10 minutes or don't and go spend your money on a company that doesn't fuck over their employees. Thanks. Here's another store window that with signs that say, our company notified us Tuesday afternoon that all 15 retail stores across the country are closing this Sunday. Our CEO, Ashley Merrill, at Ashley_Merrill, refuses to pay anyone severance. We appreciate anything you can give. And they have the Venmo. And then the next sign goes, Ashley was busy posting cat videos while we were laid off and couldn't even show her face on our weekly Zoom call the next day. Oh, that sucks. It sucks that like a billionaire can just decide to shut everything down and not pay everyone severance, and there's no recourse. Outdoor Voices ends up being purchased in 2024, as you mentioned, by a private equity company called Consortium Partners. And in 2025, they bring back Ty Haney. She's not CEO, but according to her, she's focused on the brand, product, creative community, and how all of that comes to life, which is probably what she should have been doing all along. If I were to guess, the owners read social media, maybe Ty's burner account, and figured everyone wanted her back. So they're trying to recreate this magic and put her back in the spot that she should have been in 10 years ago. But there's a problem now. In the 5 years since she's left Outdoor Voices, she's become a techno-fascist. Here's what she posts on the day of the election. Elon Musk posts, America is a nation of builders. Soon you will be free to build. And Ty Haney hearts it.
Yeah.
She you saw that Substack article.
Yeah, I would describe the behavior as obsessive and just like weird, like stalker like behavior.
Yes, with her and Elon Musk. So we're going to get into that in a little bit. But I want to just bring you up to speed on what else she's been doing. She started 2 different companies. One is a consumer loyalty startup called Try Your Best, or TYB, and Joggy, which is an energy drink brand. TYB is social media for brands. You can basically rack up points for doing things like reviewing products from beauty brands or clothing brands, or liking them on social media, or taking surveys, and you can use those points, which also might be crypto, for like a percentage off your purchase. You can also talk to the brand directly and get access to new product drops. Here's a quote. Consumers on TYB participate in gamified challenges, will enable brands to connect input from consumers who have blockchain-enabled loyalty profiles in exchange for rewards such as digital collectibles, NFTs, or brand coins that can be used for bragging rights or towards purchases. The target users are people who buy a brand because they love it and post about it on Instagram. This is a way for them to connect with others in that community and also have a direct relationship with the brand to provide real-time feedback around new product ideas and where the brand should head. So basically, like, yeah, she's trying to recreate the community aspect of Outdoor Voices.
It's cool. Like the idea is cool. So like the way I saw it and the way it was presented to me is like, if you shop Nike, essentially what you get is like, and I don't know the NFT of it, but like a digital Air Max. And as you make purchases and as you interact with the brand, your Air Max becomes like colored and more personalized. And this is different. This is what brands want. I think it's going to be successful. And I think it's a layer into this Ty Haney story. And it'll be interesting to see as this grows and progresses if she remains at the helm of it. The other thing I'll say is, like, back to my Nike example. So, like, as you build out this shoe and you interact with the brand more, like if Nike says, hey, you're in the top, fraction of Nike loyalists, we're going to give you a free shoe, or hey, we want to bring you to the Super Bowl or something like that, right? That's the idea. Shit on it.
I literally makes me want to jump out a window. Like, I just was looking at the app and listen, it's popular. It has like 1.3K reviews. I was looking at the release notes for the last version, and it says, we've introduced leaderboards complete globally to see how you rank across brands. It's like, who can be the best little consumer? But you know what here's what fucks with me. 20 years ago, you could actually just go be a loyal customer at a store, and it wasn't a competition, but like you would get free shit. It's not like we have invented the idea of loyalty and loyalty points this century. Like, that was a thing. Like, a salesperson could just give you a deal because you're a loyal customer. Like, I fucking yearn to put things on credit at the general store.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's just annoying. It's just like so unpersonable, and like it's so like it's gamifying commerce in a way that's like so gross to me.
Yes. Totally understand. Totally gross. We shouldn't. It's annoying that we have to have so much consumerism and be sold on everything. And like now, not only am I being sold, but my interactions with the brand are
monetized. Well, and then there's all these like 28% chance of buying things if you're on this program. It's like, oh my God. Like, but don't you think people?
Nothing changes if nothing changes. So like, this to me is another step in the direction of people being like, okay, we're getting closer to a point where people are like, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
All this stuff has to happen.
You're absolutely right.
To make change.
You're absolutely right.
Here's the thing. The brands are going to do it. This is going to happen. It's going to be successful, and it's going to iterate, and then eventually it's going to fringe on some of our rights. And, whether it's this TYB, and I'm not saying it's this TYB, but or another thing, it's going to become problematic. And it's the pendulum. The pendulum swings. So
here's some comments again on Reddit. Apparently people who are giving negative feedback on TYB are being deleted on the app.
I didn't know that. Yeah, that's fucked up. Because if you want, I don't know who said this, but if you want me at my bet, if you don't want me at my worst, you can't have me at my best.
I think that was Sheena Shea.
Yeah, okay.
This is somebody else who's like, her other business is like Joggy, which is like an energy drink. And they go, I like the Joggy idea. Weed drinks are definitely having a moment. But the TYB thing is so strange. I'm a millennial, so maybe I'm wrong about Gen Z, but I thought we were all collectively getting pretty exhausted and disillusioned by rampant consumerism. I remember when everyone obsessed over the latest Glossier drop in 2016 or like Kylie lip kit. But things are different now, not to mention the target audience really appreciating the value of NFTs. Listen, I'm not saying it's not popular, but I cannot imagine that like it's sustainable or like has that big of a market. But maybe I'm wrong. Anyway,
I can tell you based on Lauren's experience with the jobs that she's working on, plug for Lauren's creative direction, it's popular among those companies.
Sure.
In the CPG world.
Sure. I'm sure it is. Can we just go back into the dumpster? Talk about Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember how she was linked to Elon Musk back in 2018? Texas Monthly, she did an interview with them, and they go, are you still friends with Elon Musk? She goes, I am. They go, he's become complicated. What happened? She goes, he's unfortunately got involved in politics, but he's still the same person I've always known. He's a futurist. People don't always get him until much later. I think he's super well-intentioned and often misunderstood, but it's hard to know unless you met him. He's the greatest product builder of our time. TYB works out of the old Twitter offices. We've sat in on XAI meetings. Seeing how he goes about building technology has clearly informed and inspired me.
Gross. She is such a, this is like, I'm trying to psychoanalyze what trauma this woman has been through to want to be with a man like Elon. She's a very good looking girl. She's very clearly very smart. What happened in high school? Childhood, it's all childhood trauma based. Was she not the popular girl in high school? Did she feel less than at Parsons?
I think she's just an opportunist. And I think, like, I'll get into this in the takeaways.
But she's like obsessed with Elon.
I know, but Adam, that's good business now. Like, think about all the right-wing sorority girls.
But it's not her. If you're looking at her core customer,
but she doesn't care about that anymore. They've already abandoned her. I mean, look at Reddit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure she's looking at it. So I think she's just looking for a new audience. And I think right now, it will be cringy one day. But right now, it's not cringy to be a techno-fascist. It's not cringy for some people to align themselves with Elon Musk. And I think she's an opportunist. I think that's what it comes down to. So there's a Substack that you read called A Grande Illusion by a woman named Kara McClendon.
She's a great writer, by the way.
Great writer.
I was like in.
Yeah.
I was going to read part 2, but it got too late.
She did a deep dive called Ty Haney is Elon Musk's reply guy, and she analyzes Ty's Twitter activity. And yeah, she's at X headquarters. Astro Greek tweets a picture of Elon Musk riding a horse when he was 9, and she tweets a picture of her riding a horse when she was 9. May Musk, Elon tweets, kids are awesome. Nothing will make you happier. May Musk replies to him, agree. She replies to May Musk and says, horses make me pretty happy. The weird thing is, like, she's married. Like, if I were him, I'd be nervous. Like, this guy has a reputation of cheating on people. Elon pulling a Nicole Sergey situation. Right. But if that happens, he'd just get on both knees to apologize.
Right.
Here's Anonymous posts, Elon Musk's drug use impossible to hide when he's at the Oval Office, and Ty goes, nah, if you know him, he's just adjusting his neck back and in thought. Okay, I don't know. But maybe, listen, if we're going to be generous, maybe hanging out with Elon Musk, maybe she's doing some ketamine or dropping into some like really unique creative space. So let's look at the newest Outdoor Voices product launch, the first one since Ty is back at the company. So we've got, first up, a cropped, thin-looking, $150 14% cashmere cardigan, a strapless sports bra, and then these like kind of millennial-looking zigzaggy shorts and bra that is like, I guess it's the color of her energy drink, so it's joggy green. And they're $88 each. So to buy just a sports bra and bike shorts, you're spending almost $200.
I know where they're getting the margins from.
Where?
Less fabric. They're not using like any fabric.
It's crazy.
It's like, these women are naked.
It's insane. And I guess like she keeps talking in some of these interviews that she's like wanting to make like a corporate universe. So like you buy Outdoor Voices on TYB, and then you buy the color of the Outdoor Voices garb is also the color of the energy drink. Anyway, apparently they're pulling full Danielle Bernstein and also stealing designs. So somebody on Reddit pointed out that like this is a dress from a brand called G&T Sport in 2014. That's basically a carbon copy for an Outdoor Voice dress that just dropped. This one is kind of crazy. Did you see this whole thing about the sun shirt?
Yeah.
So Outdoor Voices post the new OV sun shirt, and somebody goes, you know, it's whatever, $148. And somebody goes, does the sun shirt have UPF built in? Which I think is like,
Yeah, you ever wear a Columbia fishing gear, a Columbia PFG shirt?
no.
Oh, it's got UPF. It's great. It's a fishing shirt.
And you
If
wear
go
it,
down
you
to
don't
Florida,
need to
you'll
put
see
sunscreen.
like 1 in 10 guys wearing it.
So they go, do the sun shirts have UPF built in? I'd hope so for that price. Outdoor Voices official goes, no, but we have heard that feedback. It's a sick idea.
Yes, Queen. UPF is important.
And the person goes, wait, what? So you're marketing this as a sun shirt, but there's no sun protection in the garment? Someone else goes, hey, OV, love the new launch, but you can't technically call something a sun shirt unless it's UPF certified. There are legal ramifications. And I'm sure Ty Haney was like, not anymore.
No, not for us.
Not for us. We actually killed those regulations. You could get sued by a sunburnt customer and worse, be the ultimate cause of someone getting skin cancer. Sincerely, a dedicated lab certified UPF brand. Good for them.
Ooh, that would be cool too if like Columbia Outerwear, who does UPF branded stuff, they could hop in their comments and
Yeah,
be
you
like,
should.
yo, you guys are fucking liars.
Yeah.
Like, if you really want a sun shirt, you should get a Columbia PFG. That will keep you from melanomas.
Yeah, we don't want any melanomas.
Yeah.
Ty wants you to have melanoma. Okay, so I don't know where the brand goes from here. I guess my guess is they're going for the Maha right wing, like sorority girl. Like I think they're doing Under Armour, where they were like, we don't know who our main customer is anymore. Let's just put guns on all of our t-shirts and American flags and call it a day. Okay, so let's do some takeaways. We talked about this on the last Patreon, but it's just really hard to run a brand when you're disconnected from other human beings. And I think that's what happened to Ty Haney. Like I read some of her stuff, like interviews from early on, like in 2013, 2014, and she just did seem very normal. And I think just over time, she just stopped touching grass. And I think that's why it's really difficult for her now. And I think it reminds me a lot of Dove Charney of American Apparel. Like great idea, passionate founder, but they just get sucked into this like founder psychosis.
Yeah, I think this is like a story of it being a time and a place, and private equity not being able to or people just not being able to let something die.
Yeah.
Like it was a flash in a pan. You've sucked all you can suck out of it. It's done. Like
I know, why is that? Like why did they not?
Especially when
And they
there's
did. I don't
so
even-
much competition out there. Like, isn't that the most important thing? Is like to understand the market. Okay, we're not going to be successful in current market conditions. Why not keep the naming rights, keep whatever, maybe revisit it in like 10, 15 years when it's not so competitive.
And
Like,
I think that's exactly right. And I think like, I didn't even mention this, but they've been bought twice. They declared bankruptcy once. It's like every single day, you are just destroying more and more brand value until it becomes nothing.
yeah,
And
like Janko jeans. Janko is making
Yes.
it like it's having a comeback.
Yeah.
I don't know. I knew their website was under construction, but you could sell Janko jeans for a good amount of money.
Yeah.
You know? It all came back, and you know that's fashion. It recycles.
So, yeah, exactly. Just put a pin in it. Say, put a keep the website and let it go.
Yeah.
What do you think it is? People just can't let go.
I don't know. I think it's people can't let go. The sunk cost of it hurts
all
people.
these investors who
want it,
want their money back.
and then they're all living like they're like, man, 10 years ago this company was doing so well. Like it was mismanaged, but like the brand, the identity and the brand identity and the customer equity should still be there, but it's not. Like people have moved on.
I know, and I think. I'll be interested to see how this goes. I mean, keep an eye on this. I just can't wait for the time that being techno-fascist seems dated and corny. Like, one thing that always just makes me feel better is knowing that, like, there was a time when being a school segregationist, for example, was like a popular idea. But the good thing is, you know that in 40 years, you're going to be like, ew, gross. That was fucking weird, Grandpa. And I just know that it's never going to be corny to fight for people's rights. It's never going to be corny to be on the right side of history. But some of these people are just so short-sighted that they're just like, I'm just going to take the coolest next thing that seems like a good thing for me to glom on to and ride that wave. And yeah, one day you're going to look back and you're going to be cringed as fuck. And I can't wait for that day.
Okay, I'm checking in here a couple of months after we recorded this episode, and there has been an interesting development. This is from just a couple weeks ago, October 22nd, an article from the Denver Post that reads, Outdoor Voices founder Ty Haney accused of defrauding investors in $3 million energy drink deal. I'll link the article in the show notes. The complaint alleges that after Ty Haney was brought back to Outdoor Voices, she approached this company called Cinco, which is an investment firm out of Denver, to help raise money for her Joggy energy drink brand. Joggy had this huge order from Target, and she needed the financing to help keep Joggy afloat, and specifically, she needed $100,000 to fulfill this Target order. So this guy, Dustin Simontab, I guess he's like a pretty big Denver development guy. He developed like a big co-working / like a corporate, it looks kind of like a corporate country club in Boulder. Anyway, he runs this investment company called Cinco. And in January, he said that he agreed to make an emergency $3 million investment in the fledgling company to help save it. So he also agreed to help add product lines. And in exchange, Cinco was set to receive a 20% stake in the company. Haney would keep 50% of Joggy. Other investors would receive 20%, and then 10 would be set aside for employees. So from January to July of this year, Justin Simontab said he was basically running the company. He fulfilled the Target order. He hired a CEO. Apparently, Ty didn't like the first CEO that he hired, so he found another one and hired them. And then he collected $400,000 in accounts payable, and he settled a bunch of legal disputes that the company had. There's not a ton of details on that, what specifically he settled, but that was noted in the article. The problem was their initial agreement was verbal and non-binding. Now, I don't know if that's common for something like this. I would imagine if I'm putting in 6 months of work and $3 million in capital, I'm not going to do it before I have something signed. That's just me. Maybe this is common in the Boulder tech space. I don't know. I really don't know. It doesn't seem like a good deal to me, but let me know in the comments if this is common, if you would, maybe he trusted her. Maybe they were friends from Boulder and he thought that this was somebody that he could trust. In July of this year, Simontab sends Ty a formal term sheet and said, I've done all this stuff. Hey, I just want to get this written up. Just let's agree to the terms that we had set in January. And she balked. Quote, the next day, Haney emailed a lengthy document proposing to restructure Joggy's agreement with Cinco and increase her percentage of ownership while significantly reducing Cinco's. Their equity would go from 20% to 3%. That's a pretty big jump. This is from the article. When Simontab suggested that he and others at least be allowed to recoup their investments, Haney allegedly rejected that idea as well. So investors are now suing her and Joggy for securities fraud, misrepresentation, unjust enrichment, breach of contract, and more. Interestingly, 2 days after this article, Ty tweeted the following. Okay, so there's a screenshot of somebody who's texting her who says, this is going to be the biggest month, week, quarter, money-wise ever. It's just that text. There's no other information. Who knows what they're actually talking about? She hearts it. And then she takes a screenshot of that text that she received and on X writes above it, sue me. And she is being sued. Right, that's what they're doing, Ty. They are suing you. So, I mean, listen, if she's flush with cash, I mean, I'm sure this Target order, I don't know if you've been at Target recently. Maybe you picked up one of these Joggy energy drinks and contributed to her legal fund against these guys. Maybe she has enough money to pay these guys back, right? And maybe they can settle. If not, maybe this lawsuit will continue. I searched high and low. I even got a paid Law 360 account so I could find the actual text of this lawsuit. It is beyond my reach as a general civilian. Obviously, if this goes to federal court, I mean, what they are alleging is securities fraud, misrepresentation, unjust enrichment, breach of contract. Securities fraud is certainly criminal. So obviously, if we see this go any further, I'm going to do my best to follow it. I'll update you guys on the Patreon and on Instagram, since you're listening to this episode here on the main feed. Obviously, if this goes any further, we're going to get some more juicy gossip in Discovery. So I will keep you guys updated as best I can. And until then, this has been the Corporate Gossip Podcast. By the way, because this was pulled from the Patreon, we don't have a good news story this week. We will be back next week with our good news correspondent at the end of the episode. So listen for her then. And then obviously, if you want to email a good news story, I was recently in Scottsdale, and the good news story that she is going to be writing about next week was a story that I found in the local Scottsdale paper. I literally took pictures of it. I cut it out. I ripped it out of the paper, and I took a picture of it and I sent it to her. So if you have a good news story that you want to hear on this podcast for next season, email Elizabeth Liu. Her email is in the show notes. And we will see you next time. Thank you for listening to the Corporate Gossip Podcast. Bye.